welcome to the first episode of From Scraps to Yaps. I'm so incredibly excited to have you on this series and to kick it off as well. So that's so great that I've got someone that not only someone that I'm just enjoy their book, but also have been comfortable to just become a friend with, and that's made this whole experience just setting up everything even more exciting.
Thank you
Um,
so much, Alicia, for thinking of me and for having me here. I'm so excited to be part of this first episode. I'm gonna do
yeah.
my best to make you proud.
Oh, stop it. No, you're here. That's I'm proud enough. I'm happy enough. But yeah, let's just get started then. Feel free to share anything and everything about your story and your works and what Michael and Maximus are about.
Let's do a elevator pitch of Maximus. If you love slow burn romance, found family, and action-packed urban fantasy like Crescent City or The Mortal Instruments, you'll love Maximus, The Key to Heaven. It's set in New York City with demon battles, heavenly relics, and a fallen angel who runs a nightclub by day and fights to save the world by night. Readers love it because it's equal parts epic, romantic, and deliciously modern, complete with foodie and cocktail culture woven into fantasy. What do you think?
That's perfect. One of the main reasons why I was attracted to your book and I found your Instagram account and why I wanted to join the ARC team was because I'm obsessed with Mortal Instruments and obsessed with Hush Hush. Obsessed. You can see it right there behind me. It's
I
all there.
love that.
And when I saw that, I was like, there's another person who loved Hush Hush and they wrote a book inspired by the law. Um, I have to pick that up.
Thank you. And yes, I loved Hush Hush so much in my
Yeah.
early 20s, and it really did help influence me. I give a little shout out to Becca Fitzpatrick at the if you go out there and you buy Maximus or Maximus the special edition coming out on September 15th, you'll see a whole acknowledgments and thank yous in the back of the book for all those authors that inspired me and for my incredible art team like yourself for being there to
Oh,
support me throughout this journey.
yeah.
But yeah, Hush Hush was huge for me.
Yeah.
So much so that I kind of made it canon in my book.
I
Um,
know.
our main character, Cecilia White,
Yeah.
is the not the direct offspring, but her great grandfather is Pat Cipriano, our beautiful archangel in the story Hush Hush, known
Yeah.
as Jedediah.
And speaking of Cecilia, I know that Cecilia is referenced at the bottom here. I actually didn't know that. I just thought it was coffee and because of her love for coffee, but it says Cecilia White. I'm so happy.
It is a quote in chapter
I
two.
know it was a quote, but I forgot that Cecilia's name would be there. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, thank you. And
Of
thank you
course.
for rocking my merch. I'm so honored.
Of course, I had to, and that's why I've kept it with myself and haven't shared it on Instagram yet because I was like, I want you to have the first surprise, and then even though you sent it to me, and then share it with Instagram and everyone else who wants to buy your merch. And moving from Maximus, do you want to talk a little bit about Michael? I actually have the books right here. This is Maximus.
Ooh, they
This is
look so
Michael.
beautiful on
I
your end.
know they really are.
So just a short, kind of blurb to Michael. It's a retelling of the first war in heaven.
Yep.
But I wrote it so that it gives the backstory to the characters that you kind of learn to grow in love in my books, Maximus and Eros, and
Yeah.
even the dark ones. But most excitingly, I originally thought that I was just going to put it out as one book, but I'm now going to be putting it out as two books because I really want to tell the story of your favorite boys, the Elites.
Yeah.
And the Elites is going to be my book too, which will probably be coming out in 2027, but just know it's coming.
I can't wait for that. And how did you go about with the scope of the series? Because I know that both of these are book ones of different series almost. So Maximus is its own more modern day structure, got that more urban fantasy vibes, and I think the elites will follow on from that book. But with Michael, it's definitely a sequel. It's the beginning of the end, pretty much. And it shows how Maximus came into being almost, even though the story is not directed on him at all. But I loved how it kind of gave a historical explanation to set up the next series. So how did you envision the scope of it all?
It's a really good question. So let's see. When when I started writing Maximus and Eros, I'd never thought about writing the backstory, and it
Mm.
really came from the ARC team asking
Mm.
questions and kind of wanting to know how did they get there? What do they look like before this? What why did Max even fall? And I didn't
Mm.
think about showing any of that because I only planned on writing one urban fantasy, and I was just happy it turned into two.
Yeah, wow.
And the way that I changed the way that I wrote things, it was very intentional. Like,
Mm.
of course, Maximus is urban fantasy at its core, so I wrote it to feel grounded, like it could be happening in the real world we know today.
Mm.
But Michael, on the other hand, is biblical fantasy, and I felt that if I was going to be depicting heaven as a setting, like it demanded a more poetic and elevated style of writing. So the shift in
Yeah.
tone reflects the worlds themselves. It's, gritty, modern versus timeless and divine.
Yeah, that's a beautiful explanation, actually.
Thank you.
Um, and I love to hear that like your readers and your ARC team has kind of inspired the growth of the series because I can never understand, and maybe an author's point of view would be very helpful here, how authors, like Cassandra Clare, for example, that's like 50 million books made. How do you reckon authors go about planning how long the series is going to be or having like an idea of from start to finish how the story is going to flow because every time I think about writing, not that I'm ever going to because I just don't have those skills, but when I do consider it, I always think like I have to write the entire series and only then can I start with publishing the first book because I need to know how it ends. And I don't understand how authors can like map that in their head.
We all have a different mindset. I mean, I grew a
Yeah.
lot as a writer, as an author, through Maximus and then through Eros and whatever else I'm writing right now. But
Yeah.
like, never would have imagined writing a series. I didn't
Yeah.
even plan on publishing this book. I wrote it, to cope with what was going on in my life, and then I shared it with my friends, and my friends told me to publish it. So that's why it's out there in the cosmos. But
Oh.
um, but other authors, like my friend Ray. He had books one and two planned out for his series. Ray from Ray's Cool Cafe is a real dude. Um,
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, he's right. And now that you mentioned the character, I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
yeah. So Ray was like, "Yeah, I know exactly what I'm gonna do," and I was like, "All right, cool. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but
Mm.
if you want, I'd love to like hang out with you and write some time together." And so we went into like and we created an authors guild in New Jersey, and it was
Oh,
huge at one point with like 60 members. It was the North Bergen
well,
County Writers Guild. But yeah, so going there and learning about like what other authors were doing and what their journey was, I kind of like realized I didn't have my shit together. So the way that you describe it, that's what normal people do.
got it.
We're not normal people. But growing through this process, I'm starting to see now and starting my new series Soundweaver that I announced
Mm.
yesterday. Um, I'm starting to see why.
Yeah.
Why take the time to think of all of that and knowing that ending in mind, because when I started writing Maxims I knew my ending. I went that far at least, but with the rest of the series I didn't know where I wanted to go until I wrote Eros, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, now I'm getting all like the questions, and I'm getting everything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can always tie things in because Cassie didn't always have the plan for her side books like Shadowhunter Academy and Magnus Bane series. I mean, the
Yeah.
Magnus Bane, what happened, what really happened in Peru. Um,
Yeah.
like all those things. She didn't have those planned. Those came as it went. But she did mention, I think, in an interview that she had like her whole thing planned out from beginning and end. And
Yeah.
even if it is a rough outline, like Alexandra Bracken always talks about, I
Mm.
follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
She's always talking about like how she like plans out at least an idea for each book so that way she doesn't create too many plot holes
Yeah. She's
and she
the
knows that she could space them out.
Yeah, she's the author of Darkest Minds or something.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. I think I have one
She's
of her
also
books
from New
on
York.
there. Sorry?
She's also from New York.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Are you from New York?
Well, I'm from New Jersey originally, but I
Yeah.
lived in New York a lot like after college.
Yeah. This
So I
all
kind of
is
once
just
once you start being in New York for a certain amount of
yeah,
time, you start considering yourself a New Yorker.
you got
I
up.
know I will never call California home. I'm never going to be a
Wow.
Southern California, and I will always be a New Yorker.
Wow. Okay. To me, all of these places sound like holiday destinations or like places where most of my favorite characters like come from. So in my head, I'm like, these are fictional places because I've never been to America. So New York, what is it? Don't know. coming back to your books, which people or what like events in your life have inspired like events in the stories?
As I mentioned earlier, this story was written as a coping mechanism.
Mm.
Um, in the end of 2011, I lost my best friend, and I went into a serious like spiral of depression, and I lost myself in books. And that was, books and wine, and just many just days alone in seclusion, until I learned to cope. And I remember I was sitting in like I was sleeping and I woke up around 3 a.m. and I was just like, holy shit. And I had this dream. It was not like a crazy dream or anything. It was me. It was Eric. We were in a club. It was our club. And we were just making drinks and laughing. And our friends were there. And I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I want to write this down." So I started writing down this chapter that never happened. Obviously, it didn't make the book, but parts of it did make the book. It's just us mixing cocktails and talking to people at the bar and just being like, us.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, who runs this place?" And would they mind you talking to us? And I looked up at Eric and I was like, "Hey, boss, would they mind?" And he looked at me and he was like, "I don't know, boss, you tell me." And they're like, "What, you own this place?" And I was like, "Yes, Max Launch, bitch." And from there I kind of ran with it. I was like, I need to like this was our dream. Like Sam, Darius, Eric, we wanted to open a club. We used to do promotion for clubs in college. That's how I made our side gig. And I wanted to create like a world where Eric got to do what we wanted to do. Eric wanted to be a chef and he
Yeah.
loved food. And he could cook way better than I did. At the time I used to burn
Wow.
everything. I used to
And
burn
you're
everything.
really good at it as well.
Yeah, now I am a chef. Now I'm a
Yeah.
master mixologist.
Oh, lovely.
But when I was in my 20s, I was not. I was a
Yeah.
disaster. I was a burn everything disaster. And yeah, I mixed cocktails really well. And I later went on to sell some of my recipes in New York to some of the biggest clubs. But
Wow.
I was just like, I need to write this down. So I started writing it down and I told Ray about it and I told Sam about it and they're like, "Oh, that's fun, man. I mean, I'm really happy for you." They're probably just like, "You're fucking sad, you know. Let's just encourage him if it gets him out
Yeah.
of like his depression, just keep going."
Yeah.
And then I called Ray up and I was like, "Yeah, I want to come join you and write with you." And then he made the Writers Guild. We made the Writers Guild together. I think all of that came out of love because they saw that I was so like hurting.
Mm.
And yeah, I started sharing with my other friends and like Jen and I was sharing it with Tim and Darren who are Darius. And they were like, "Dude, you should fucking publish this. This is crazy. This
Yeah.
is good. This is so fun." It's like I don't know anything else like this. And I was like, "Yeah, you don't read the book as I do, but yeah, it exists." And that's where my story came from. And I ran with it. Um
Yeah. That's actually so sweet. And I'm so glad. Like one thing you said when I started reading the books, I think like I used to just like message you like I'm at this part now. I'm at this part. And what I really loved about the conversation, you referenced one of the conversations about like the are you the owner of the club and whatnot. Like that was in the book. And I'm so glad to see that like that was actually a real life conversation that you had, whether that be in a dream or like it came through like whatever telling that you had. And I just thought that when I was reading it, like the conversations within the between the characters was so grounded and so fun and just so casual, and that's why it was so easy as a reader to connect with them because you already know these books are not that like thin. They're pretty big. I read them both in one sitting each. And that's simply
wow.
because the characters were just so fun to get along with. And I genuinely just felt part of like their friendship and their family. And honestly, like they just felt like real people. So even though you said that like your mates thought that this was like a unique book and stuff, it is. It really is because you can see like those grounded conversations which you can't find that easily in fantasy books. So that's definitely props to you.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you.
course.
I feel like that's the biggest thing that I'm proud of, and that's the biggest thing that I enjoy writing.
Yeah.
I love writing my characters. I like creating those conversations to make something feel real, so that people can listen and read to these like read my books and feel like, oh, I relate to this person, I relate to that
Mm.
person, and they can find themselves in the story, so it's easier for them to get lost into it. And
Yeah.
thank you for saying that. It really means a lot to me.
Of course, absolutely. I guess speaking of like those kind of moments of the vibrancy of foods and cocktails and them enjoying like just meals together and stuff, even like the massive breakfast scene, where they just had like a huge spread of pancakes and other delicious breakfast items. Why did you feel like you wanted to put emphasis on those parts of the book?
'Cause that's who I am. I write what I know, and I know
Yeah,
food and I know cocktails, and these are the things that I enjoy.
yeah,
So, like I said when in the beginning, I wrote this for myself and my friends. I didn't
yeah,
write this for an audience. This is my heart on my sleeve, wide open for you to just take. And
yeah,
I hope you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, that's for you, but I'm trusting you with it. And
yeah,
this is what Maximus is. It's me on paper. It's everything that I know and everything that I love. And I remember someone saying to me, like, dude, your book's so random. It just feels like you just decided to write and include everything that just you love and you ran with it. And I was like, that's exactly
yeah.
what I did.
That's
That's
exactly it.
exactly what I
Yeah.
did. Like, you gotta, if you ever came to New York City, I would invite you out with Sam and Darius and I. We
Oh
would,
my
we would,
gosh,
we'd
that
go
would
out,
mean the
we'd take you to our
world.
favorite clubs, you'd see our
Ah,
horrible dancing moves, and we would subject you to so many calories you would leave probably 15 pounds heavier.
that's my biggest fear of America. I'm not gonna lie.
Meet the elites, leave fat, but happy.
True.
I shared like recipes and food that I know how to make.
Mm.
Like that's what's written into the book too. I mean, and I was telling Gigi, it's one of
Yeah.
our creators for anyone who's listening. She's phenomenal. Um,
Yeah.
Georgiana. So I was telling Gigi, I was like, yeah, a Maxwell's Bartender's Guide, my companion guide, and a
Yeah.
Hips and Heights cookbook. They are a love letter to the club that Eric and I always wanted to open, the restaurants that we always
Oh,
wanted to open, and it's my resume. So if anyone wants to invest in me, here
yeah.
you go, bro. This is me showing you that I'm the real deal. Any recipe you try in there is phenomenal. Like
They do look amazing. I'm waiting for Gigi to like start cooking up some stuff and I can like vicariously live through her and then one day go visit her and then she can continue cooking for me.
the other day, I cooked pesto spaghettini and vodka parmesan from
Oh,
Eros,
yum.
and I was just so excited to eat it. I didn't take even a picture.
Wow. Nothing for
I
the
just
gram.
nothing for the gram.
Wow.
Like Eric likes meatball parmesans.
Yeah.
I make a vodka meatball parmesan and I like drizzle it with pesto, and it is phenomenal. And there's this place in New York City called Mama's too, and I went and I had theirs, and I swear to God, mine's better.
Really?
Yeah.
To be
So
fair, homemade,
if you
home
make
cooked ones would be better. But
it,
yes.
absolutely no, there's just I mean home cooked.
Yeah.
They're making it there for everybody, and they charge like
Yeah.
20 bucks a sandwich. So it better be fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh,
But
wow.
but I'm really proud of mine, and I just feel like it slaps a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, specifically speaking about Michael, I have to say that one was my favorite one, and that's because I love historical biblical lore and like just to see like different interpretations and retellings of like how that goes. And something I absolutely loved was like how the angels saw the creator in different interpretations. Like one of them saw them as like this wise master, another saw him like as a child or them as a child and like they all had like different variations of how they saw the creator and I was wondering like what inspired that kind of logic because that was like so profound almost like I had to put the book down. I was like, does this symbolize like real life interpretations of how we view like the universe or the creator or God or whatever else we want to call it?
I developed that idea from my own belief that, in a way, as Cassie Clare always says, all the stories are true.
Yeah,
People interpret a higher power through the lens of what they know and believe.
yeah,
So, just like you see Caucasian Jesus,
yeah,
Jesus is an Arab, come on, depicted,
yeah,
across Europe and America, or even
yeah,
Korean Jesus in pop culture references like 21 Jump Street.
yeah,
The creator in my story appears differently to each angel because it's a reflection of perspective, how faith
yeah.
and identity shape the way we see the divine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's actually goes on to like another part I really liked about the story was how Michael and Lucifer were given the command that you have to go stop these griffins that are like what's it called? Like attacking mortals on Earth. And you go there and there's obviously like a lot more context to why the griffins are behaving the way they are. And obviously it's always humans. Humans are always a problem. But in that concept, like Lucifer took that command as go negotiate with the griffins. Michael took that command as kill the griffins, even though the
Exterminate.
creators, yeah, and the creators' command was we just need to stop the griffins. So I know like they both had like a different variation of interpretation of like the commands they were getting. And I was wondering like what was like the kind of like reason you had that kind of develop around those characters and how did that set up like the future of whether this book or the series because it does end on a big cliffhanger and I can't wait to see where it goes.
I just feel like the world isn't black and white, but Michael sees it that way, and
Yeah.
Lucifer sees the world in gray. And yeah, he leans more towards red later on, but I wanted to show that like we interpret like think about just the basis of religion. We all interpret things differently. There
Mm.
are radicals, and there are the Methodists who
Yeah.
sing and play beautiful music at church, and that's the church I like to go to because
Yeah.
my God, when you go there, God, it feels like you're just getting a big warm hug. But I
Yeah.
mean, they're like the Catholics, like my like my mother, who used to say like God is punishing you every time I tripped. Like, come on, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
there are those who interpret things the way that they want to interpret
Yeah.
them, and then they let that lead them. And so I wanted to show that even the archangels, even the ones that are above us all, interpret things different ways. And
Yeah.
because they're such opposites of the spectrum, like
Mm.
this is what influences the grand the grand design of the entire book and the way that
Yeah.
things turned out in history, that they were polar opposites. They were known as God's brightest stars, God's brightest light, and that's in the Bible. And I wanted to explain it. How did something start out so beautiful
Mm.
and turn into such shit? And it's the same
Yeah.
way humans are.
Yeah.
We see things, and religion is supposed to make our guide our lives and make it more beautiful, but so much hate can come from it.
Absolutely.
That's what happened with Michael and Lucifer.
Yeah. No. And how do you think that kind of translates to Maximus and Eric later on? Because Maximus is part of Michael's story as well. So I was wondering, like, do those because he also has that complicated situation where it's like, oh, I do agree with what Lucifer's saying, but I am supposed to be with Michael, and now what do I do? And having that conflict in the middle.
It just goes to show like you are your own person and you make your own
Mm.
decisions. No matter who's supposed to be your big brother, who's supposed to be your influence, your guiding light, you
Yeah.
make your own decisions based off of, who you believe you are. And that's the same with Samael and Lucifer. He looked at him like, "Oh my God, I want to be him. I want to be
Yeah.
just like him. I want to be great." And he didn't
Mm.
really think of all the bad that could happen
Yeah.
with being great in his way. And Maximus saw Michael as, yeah, this is something great, but this guy's a fucking douche. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. Michael was always a douche, even in
Yep.
biblical references. He's just so black and white, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
He is justice, but justice can also be, determined different ways. Like you would know this most because you're in law.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. And I think that's
there's
one thing I really respect about studying this degree was that it's never about the outcome. It's always about how we reach the outcome because you can reach the same outcome in two different ratios and at the end of the day it's the ratio that gets judged, not the outcome, which is just like it's so hard to like conceptualize it until you're like reading 2000 cases and you're like, "Oh, I get it now." But that's why I think that's also the reason why I really loved Michael because I feel like I could really interpret, analyze the characters based on my own career and like the way I've been studying. When you have read so many different books that are in a similar genre to Maximus and Michael, how do you like ensure that those stories aren't seeping in and influencing the progression of your story?
It's my characters.
Yeah,
As long as one of my favorite exercises that I did with Ray when I was younger
yeah.
is we would create a list of questions,
Mm.
and those were us interviewing the character to learn who the character was.
Oh,
And I
that's
don't
smart.
know how or where we got this from, but we built on it, we ran with it, and I have like 5 pages for each character interviewing them. I know my
Yeah.
characters, like I know the back of my hand. Like
Oh.
Brian Watterson has some depth to him, even though he is a scumbag, but he's still a human. So
Yeah.
I know him really well. And I can like I was talking to one of my other friends, Jad Philippe, who's another author, and we were like, dude, you know, it'd be super fun. Just a side project. Let's make a crossover. And we were like talking about, I was like, if we're
Oh.
making a crossover, I'm killing the shit out of Brian Watterson. Like, I cannot wait to kill this motherfucker. But like I know them and I
Yeah.
know like who they are because of this exercise. And so yeah, I have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
when I'm writing Soundweaver, I really like I took a lot of inspiration from the humor that I know from Percy Jackson. I've read every single Percy
Oh.
Jackson book.
I've got the
Every
hardback somewhere.
single Percy Jackson book.
Yeah.
Um like 3.5 shelves like
Wow.
in my library
Yeah.
influence like some of like the humor in my writing because
Yeah.
like that's you write like what you know like
Yeah.
my writing style 100%. We don't like her but we will acknowledge her. J.K. Rowling. I was the kid who just kept on rereading her books every
Yeah.
summer, and because that is the first author I learned to know like the back of my hand. I
Mm.
write in third person narrative.
I
That's
think
why.
Cassandra Clare is also third person, isn't she? Third person is so hard to do, and hard to do well, which you've obviously accomplished because you need to
You.
still be able to skip POVs, like third person POVs, but by just reading like the first two sentences, the reader needs to be able to tell which character this is about, and you have to make their personalities so strong and vibrant, which you've really achieved. So I don't have an issue at all. Speaking of your indie author journey, what do you reckon has been the most challenging about the process of writing a book, publishing it, getting it out there, getting it known, putting it together, all of those things?
So I thought that when I first started, that putting the formatting on Kindle was hard until I
I remember
realized it.
that.
Yeah, the formatting on Kindle makes you want to vomit.
Oh God.
And I should have, if I could go back, you asked one of these questions in like in the pamphlet that you sent me.
Yeah.
If I could go back and do anything again, it would be to read more books on Kindle to get an idea of what formatting looks like before I
Yeah.
went and tried to format. Like
Yeah.
Soundweaver will be the first book that I formatted correctly and elegantly
Oh, I can't
on
wait.
Kindle. But Maximus, the special edition, is like a close second because
Yeah.
like I really did take my time. I tried my freaking best.
Yeah.
But like I remember I sent it out to you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't even include a table of contents. I don't think about these things. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna make it look prettier. All right,
Yeah.
let's just add some lightning bolts here.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's so funny because I thought you were going to say something like, oh, just like the publishing process is so hard. You're like, no, getting it on Kindle. That's the worst of it all. But that's so funny
Yeah.
because I read on Kindle so much and I did not realize you have to reformat it to put it on Kindle. Like, I just thought you have an e-version and you have a paperback version and you just send it to Kindle and they put it online and it's done.
No, it's hell. It's
Okay.
hell. You have to make the there's all these great tools they have, but it is a process. Like if you
Wow.
want to do it right and you try to do it in one day, you're gonna miss shit. And I did miss shit. I've
Yeah.
re-uploaded Maximus the special edition like 4 times before, like because the release date is the 15th.
Yeah.
Today was the last chance I got to
Yeah.
reformat it, and I did. Um,
Congrats.
because I wanted to make sure it was correct. But you can't go in there and like add your acknowledgments or your warnings page just by like
Right.
copying and pasting it because sometimes it won't even let you do that. It won't show
Wow.
up. And
So
then you
you have
have
to
to
what,
like
retype it?
I had to go into docx, export my docx and reformat the entire freaking book, dude,
Oh my
just to get those
gosh.
4 pages in there. You asked me why do you think the found family theme resonates so strongly with readers? I really like
Yes.
that.
When I spoke about how I connected with the characters, I was like, yeah, I found my family through them. But please, like, tell me more about your thoughts and your process behind that.
Above all else, friendship has always been the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
Maximus really started as a love letter to my best friend and to the
Yeah.
people who in my life. Like the interactions, the banter, the way the characters love and stand by each other. That
Hmm.
all shines through because it's rooted in real life. I didn't originally write this story for an audience. I wrote it for my friends. So I
Yeah.
think that authenticity is what makes the found family theme resonate so deeply with readers.
Oh, that's so sweet. I just love how like you're just like the most wholesome person and like in your books like it's not just about you or like your characters, it's like about everyone around you who's part of the journey. Like you really pull everyone in. And that's what like makes the whole reading process so much more enjoyable as well because you just feel like, oh, I've had like a play in this even though not really, but like still like whether it be with through the author, whether it be like through arc reading or whether it be just like through having conversations with you about what I liked and what you liked. And you just, yeah, make a community out of that. And that's just like the most authentic part of the whole process.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
really just I like to read this book over and over again because it just makes me feel like I'm with my boys. Another really fun question you asked me.
Yeah.
The action felt very cinematic.
Oh
Do
my
you ever
gosh,
imagine it
yes.
work as a screen adaptation?
That and also that it was like super animated while I was reading it. Like it was like so just vibrant and full of life. I feel like that I the answer would be yeah, like surely you were like picturing this as like a movie in your head.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I grew up watching a lot of anime, and
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
as a lifelong martial artist, since the
Yeah.
age of 8, I naturally put what I knew into my fight scenes.
Yeah.
In my wildest dreams, I always imagined Maximus as a live action series. But one of our arc readers, Rachel, told me it reminded her of K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'd never watched it until recently.
Oh,
And Samuel's been telling me the same thing over and over for years. But
yeah.
after watching K-pop Demon Hunters, I can now finally see it, and honestly, it'd make a killer anime, dude.
It would. I reckon I think I said this to you directly that I would love this book as an animated series rather than a real life because I think the characters are so expressive and so vibrant and I feel like in animation you can really capture like those exaggerated like big eyes and big smiles and those kind of things. Even like all the scenes of like when they're fighting the demons and all that. Like that has to be very supernatural, right? Like flying in the air and all that stuff. Like as an anime, that would be amazing.
It would be super hard to make Dagon and Abaddon like
Yeah,
look right if they weren't in anime.
true.
I originally had a scene that I cut out of Maximus that I put back in.
Ooh, what
And
scene was
it's
that?
when they're dancing at the bar.
Oh,
Like
you
they're
cut it
showing off
out?
their funny dance moves. I
Yeah.
cut that out.
Why would you do that?
Ray knew that scene and he was so happy I put it back in.
Yeah.
Um, because like that's just things we used to do. We would just be like, "It's my jam, bro. All right, bro. I'm ready." And then he'd start busting out dribble two balls, and I bust out this. We learned these dance moves, Ray, Eric, and I, off of
Yeah.
YouTube. There was there's
Wow.
this whole episode on YouTube of like how to dance. Ray was like, I'm going to my first college party. I'm super nervous. And we're like, dude, we're gonna help you. We don't know what we're doing either, but we're
Yeah.
gonna help you, bro. And so he found this YouTube thing and started practicing on his own. And we started dance circles to make him feel more confident. And that's what we
Aw.
do. The dance circles that you'll see like that we do in these books that I write,
Yeah.
they're based off of what we would do. Like Sam was a better dancer than all of us. So I mean
Yeah.
like he bust out breakdancing moves. He also
Oh,
like
amazing.
Marine. So he's built like a freaking statue. Um but like, Darius just like pumping out
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
his move. And like
Yeah.
like the churn the butter
Oh,
and the
yeah.
stapler and like
Classics.
the dribble shoot balls and the shoot the line. Like these are dance moves that we learned from this
I'm
YouTube
scared to come
video.
New
And
York now.
that's you come out with us, you're gonna have the time of your life, my friend.
Okay. Stown Weaver, like when you explain like the premise of it, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because the premise for that sounds so interesting and so unique and how it's inspired by music. And I did read your story and was it the first chapter or was it the first like,
Yeah, those pages that I shared were from chapter 6.
yeah.
Um, and it's just Soundweaver is a magical world. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want anyone to steal it. It hasn't been done before.
Oh,
I've read
okay. Yeah.
so many books on magic, and they
Keep it
have
to yourself
not
then,
done this
mate.
magic system.
Yeah.
But essentially, I wanted to create a world like Hogwarts, like
Hmm.
Breakbills, a
Hmm.
university setting, and a world where magic existed. And I
Yeah.
wanted to tie in things like the creator. I wanted to tie in
Oh, oh
things like
wow.
the magic that you saw in in Maximus and Eros,
Yeah.
like when Eric is weaving the threads and tying
Yeah.
tying Watterson's shoelaces together
Yeah.
because he's the angel of love and mischief. And
Yeah.
even though they don't have their wings to have endless magic and they have to use blood magic a
Yeah.
lot, they're still like their insides, the gold in their blood is like the weave of the world.
Yeah.
It's all magic. They're magic inside them.
Yeah.
And they can still take the magic that's in the world and weave it together and use it. Like when Sam uses flame spells. Like I don't really break into it, but in Soundweaver I do. In Soundweaver I really
Okay.
break into it and how we can use the magic of the world because there's magic in all of us.
That's so beautiful. And it's like every time like people speak about magic of the world, they always go to elemental magic, but you've like got something completely unique from the sounds of it, but it's still using like the source of earth, I guess.
Yeah, Camden has synesthesia. He sees music and color,
Yeah.
and he can manipulate sound with his
Yeah.
ability, with the magic that's in his bones
Yeah.
and his blood to be able to influence sound and
Yeah.
use sound to not just to enhance sound, but
Yeah.
he can even use sound as defense, as a weapon. He's learned how to weaponize sound.
Oh,
That's what a sound
interesting.
weaver is. And most people that are reading this, and I'm hoping it touches them.
Oh, oh, it's
Band
gonna be
geeks have
emotional,
never
isn't
had a
it?
chance to see themselves in magic.
Yeah.
The heroes in my book are the band nerds.
Yeah.
They're the underdogs.
Speaking of band nerds, Fallout Boys. Why, how, what, and how?
Oh, oh boys, my those are my boys. Like growing
Yeah.
up, like Eric's knew them. Eric knew Pete and
Yeah, you
Patrick.
shared that photo with us, and that was amazing.
Eric went on tour with them. And when they opened
How?
the Kings, we were at the opening. I mean, he started their fan club when they were a garage band. When they
Oh
were
my
like
gosh.
playing shows at like local venues and they were like practicing in their garage, like Eric knew them, you know? And when Overcast Kids was created, Eric created Overcast Kids. He founded it. He's
No
the original
way.
president of the Overcast Kids.
That
That's
is insane. That's
yeah.
incredible.
His mom still goes to the shows. She gets free backstage
Oh,
passes. I mean, like those were our friends. I mean, like I still follow them, but I don't really. I was always just Eric's friend,
yeah,
but like Eric was their boy. Like that picture I sent you was them hanging out at their hotel on
I
tour,
know.
like
That
just
was
just shooting the
amazing.
shit. Like Eric used to prank the crap out of them too. It was really funny. Is
Oh,
Eric was friends with a lot of bands. Like I don't know if you know them, but Cute is what we aim for. He hung out with them
yes.
all the time. We would
Are
go
you
hang out
kidding
with them.
me?
Sean was really cool. I really like hanging out with him. Um,
Wow.
October Fall. He knew October Fall also.
Don't know
Beautiful
them.
band. Look them
Yeah,
up. Their music's phenomenal.
will do.
The lead singer of October Fall also was Archie Starr, and he wrote
Yeah.
that song 1111. It was really popular. You were probably really like young back then, but how'd it go? I'm sleeping on my couch, just married to the mattress. I think the hardest times are finally gonna pass us. Glass half full, so watch my eyes. And then something, something, something. Try it this time. Like that's how Archie
I'm
Starr
definitely
went.
gonna look it
It's
up. That
such a
sounds so
viral
good.
song. It's so
Yeah.
good.
How would it be viral back then? Like YouTube and stuff wasn't even big. So,
MySpace. It was viral on
mate,
MySpace.
MySpace.
Yeah, I'm that
That
old,
is
dude.
ancient
I
to me.
was Eric was MySpace famous.
Oh my
Like he
gosh,
had a
really?
million followers or something crazy like that.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it was a big deal and I was his top 10 friends.
Yeah, that's how you want to be. No, I really loved that because it was such like a random appearance in the book at first, and I was like, Fallout Boys. That's a reference. That's a throwback for me because I feel like I was listening to them when I was like maybe 13 or something, and then like I fell off that genre, and now my genre is like Arctic Monkeys, Hosier, some deep indie rock, and then I was going back to it, and then I did the same thing. I just went on Spotify and listened to all their music again. It was like so
So
fun.
good. It's so good. It makes me feel good. Like you can listen to it at the gym, you can listen to it in the car, you can
Yeah.
listen to it
You
when you're
just like
walking your
have a
dog.
vibe. Yeah.
You just jam out to them and they just make you feel good. And I love the names of their
Absolutely.
songs. Like when I was writing the chapters to Maximus, I was just influenced by like the way that their songs are, the titles of their songs are. Like they're so
Yeah.
random. My favorite chapter is called like "It's my best friend's birthday when we're getting crazy."
Yeah,
It's my bestie's
the chapter
birthday, you
titles
know?
were really funny, I will say. And that's kind of like reminded me, I thought the inspiration was from Percy Jackson because Percy Jackson has the weirdest chapter titles ever. It's like when I drown someone in the toilet or something like that. And that's why I thought like, oh, I feel like that's the inspiration, but that's so funny that it's actually come from the album covers.
Yeah, just pizza, no demons.
Yeah. I love that. And just going back to Weaver, sorry. Um,
Okay.
is that part of this series kind of thing?
It's it's gonna
Because
tie
you said
in. It's gonna
Maximus.
tie in because the demons are the big bats.
Ah, okay.
And you're not gonna see them in the first book, but I
Yeah.
knew so like I said, I grew as an author and now I mapped
Yeah.
out things properly.
Yeah.
Soundweaver will be 4 books because there are 4 years in uni.
Yeah.
And
That's good.
I know the big bad in all of them, and I know how I'm
Yeah.
going to tie it in together. And one's going to end on a cliffhanger so that it continues right in the next book.
Awesome.
I have it all planned out. It's super fun. I'm so excited. One thing that I heard like feedback from one of our ARC readers and Maximus was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I really fell out of it because like, I found out that like once like you save somebody with angel blood or a heavenly relic, no one's gonna die. And I'm like, listen, lady. I'm like, those are my boys. That's
Yeah.
different. That's
Yeah.
different. But Soundweaver is a completely different series. And
Yeah.
I've grown as an author, I've grown mature, but I don't have the same ties to them as
Yeah.
I do to my boys here. So
Yeah.
the writing is easier to go into and no one's safe.
Oh God. That's what you mean by you hope the readers connect with it because you're going to really make us emotional about it, aren't you?
You're gonna cry a lot. I cry a lot when I'm
Oh,
reading it. I cry a lot when I'm writing it. I cried when I was writing the outline because I knew what I was going to do.
oh,
But like it has a beautiful outline, which you're
evil.
gonna get soon.
Any last things you want to share with the audience, with your readers, or anything at all? That'll be
Arrow
great.
Special Edition will be coming out um February 14th.
Oh,
Let's
perfect.
pretend that's when it's coming out. But yeah, Arrows will either come out then or it'll come out in April. So stay tuned.
And to wrap it up, what song would you say your books, like what song do you reckon represents both of your books, or one each? I know that's a hard
Okay.
one.
That's really tough. I need to
I
go on
know.
my Fall Out Boy playlist real quick.
I was like, Fall Out Boy's easy for Maximus, like that one is fine, but Michael would be like some deep.
The last of the real ones would be Maximus. And
Okay.
then for um for Eros, I would say Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying.
Oh,
That or Centuries. Centuries is a good song
yeah.
for Eros. Um
What was the song they played in the book? I can't remember.
oh, Sugar We're Going Down.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but that's actually that's not for Maximus. I mean
Really?
that's in Maximus, but that's not
Yeah,
gonna sum up Maximus.
that's true. I agree.
Um and then probably Immortals for Michael.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that this has been such a great conversation. And
Thank
also
you.
just
It's
like
been so
having,
fun. Thank you
I
so much
know.
for considering me.
Are you
I
kidding
love
me?
you. You are
Absolutely.
wonderful. This was
Oh,
an honor and a privilege.
oh, this is an honor for me. Are you kidding me? The fact that you would spend your time t talking to me about your books, like that's incredible. And having me on your team and everything as well. Like it's been just such a special journey. And I've only started my book account like this year. Like to have like this kind of growth and like these kind of like connections with authors has just been surreal. So thank you. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing everything about your books. I've loved just connecting with you, meeting you properly today, speaking about everything that was in my heart and hearing your process behind it. And for everyone watching, Christopher Shamoun, his at is I'll post it on the thing, but it should be at Seraphic Novels, I'm pretty sure. On Instagram, you'll find all the information about his books over there in the link tree, as well as like follow his Instagram because he always posts like really cool like reviews from other people as well as like videos. And we have another bookstagrammer Gigi who does like a lot of like the animation art that we've spoken about in this conversation. So you'll get to see a lot more of that. But yeah, stay tuned and I would love to have you again when more of your books are out and we can speak about that later.
It was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm so lucky to have met you so early in your Bookstagram career
Oh, thank you.
because I am gonna take you everywhere with me.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I can't wait to come to New York. Like, I'm going to specifically want those dance moves and the pizza. Those are the two things I'm looking forward to the most. Like, you
I'll plan
can't.
my trip to it, but hopefully Morgan and I are back there by then.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Well, thank you.